Hey everyone, this is just a little overview of the Alienware X17. So I purchased this on July 19th and got it July 31st. And I've had it for a little over a month at this point. And I thought I would just share my thoughts on this. If you're thinking about getting one, this isn't going to be an in-depth review or anything. This is just a basic overview of the system. Now, one thing I do have to mention is the device they sent me, the webcam does not work. It did not work out of the box. So they are sending me a new replacement, which I should have by next week. But, you know, by and large, I haven't heard many issues with the device itself. But just a brief overview of the specs I have. So this is the i7-11800H. It's got the Nvidia 3080 laptop GPU with 16 gigs of RAM and 165 watt power draw, which puts it at the top of the laptop GPUs right now. It has the 1080p 360 hertz display with advanced Optimus and G-Sync, which I will just show right here. There's your 360 hertz refresh rate. And then you can switch between advanced Optimus, regular Optimus, I don't know why, and if you want to just run everything through the GPU, which that's my choice because it's pretty much plugged in at all times. The laptop has terrible battery power from what I understand. I have never used it just on battery power alone. But high-end gaming laptops typically have terrible battery power, so yeah. But anyways, if you do get either the i9 or the 3080 laptop, you will get this mighty fine fat power brick. If you get anything below that, so you get an i70 with a 3070, then you'll get the much slimmer power brick. Also, another little nice thing, if you get the 3080, you get the RGB touchpad, which is pretty cool. Right now I have everything on rainbow. Also, it's got 32 gigs of XMP RAM. Have the mechanical keyboard, the Cherry mechanical low profile keyboard, so that's what it sounds like. Might bother some people. Doesn't bother me. And I've got a 2 terabyte SSD. So yeah, this cost me $3,500. They actually gave me a deal, so I got a few $100s off. It's an absolute beast. Also, too, because of the X17 uses this new quad fan setup, so you've got 2 fans here, 2 fans here. So you've got these long vents. And so all the plugins, all the ports have been removed to the back. You have a 3.5 millimeter headset here, plug-in, and the power cord plug-in on the other side. And then along the back here are your ports. Yeah, it's a good laptop. I really like it so far. It sucks that the webcam doesn't work, but in my opinion, if I'm spending $3,500 on this thing, everything should work. So hopefully I'll have my new one here next week. Just, you know, Alienware Command Center. A few other things just to keep in mind. For some reason, I haven't checked it lately, but they actually disabled the ability to turn on the XMP RAM in the BIOS. It was removed. I haven't checked it in a while. Also, if you are planning on getting this, keep in mind that at this point in time, only the 1080p 165 hertz and the 1080p 360 hertz are the only ones that offer well, technically this doesn't have a mux switch because it's got advanced Optimus, so there's no need for a mux switch. So it switches between Optimus and the discrete GPU on the fly, but the 165 hertz display does have a mux switch, which was introduced a few weeks ago, from what I understand, via BIOS update. And as far as I know, the 4K panel, the 4K 120 hertz panel, currently does not have a mux switch. So if a mux switch is a big deal to you, you might want to consider either of the two 1080p displays. Also, it's disappointing that there is no 1440p display. The 3080 laptop GPU, that's its real strength, 1440p. This thing is a monster. I've plugged it into my TV, and I could play Cyberpunk 2077 with everything maxed out, ray tracing turned on. Now, granted, I have to lock the frame rate at 30. But yeah, it runs at a solid locked 30 at 1440p. At 1080p, I can actually get 60. Most of the time. It does drop here and there. But yeah, it's a great laptop. It's pretty thin too, which is pretty amazing. I don't mind a thick laptop, but you know, whatever. It's not a big deal to me. Temperatures are pretty good. The highest temp I've ever recorded was the CPU did hit up to 88 degrees Celsius. And that was downloading games on Steam. But by and large, you know, I haven't seen any big concerns regarding the thermals. Now the i9 is a little different. That does run significantly hotter, and if you go online and you read benchmarks and reviews people have done of it, it's the difference. It's really a case of diminishing returns. And it costs an extra $300, so I don't believe it's worth it. Especially in gaming, if all you're going to do is gaming, then the performance gains are negligible at best. Workstation stuff, it definitely performs better, but it's not an order of magnitude better. Like, you could still do heavy workloads on the i7. So the i7 is, in my opinion, I think the better option. But yeah, this is the Alienware X17. It's a great laptop. It's expensive. So, you know, if you're on a budget but you still want this, you might want to consider maybe the 3070. The 3070 is also excellent. The 1080p gaming is really where that thing is targeted. And also keep in mind that even though they say 3060, 3070, 3080, they are not the same as their desktop equivalents. The 3080 laptop is more along the lines of the 3070 desktop in terms of performance. The 3070 desktop definitely beats it out because it's able to pull more power than this, but there's not a gigantic difference between the two. So just keep that in mind. These are not the same. They are physically not the same chips. Yeah, so that's it. This is the Alienware X17. It's a good laptop.